I spent 30 plus years of my life working this job that I knew wasn't fulfilling for me. So that's when I figured out I had to create my own opportunity and do my own thing. My name is Carlos Smith, and I'm the owner, and I'm an entrepreneur and a journalist. I'm the owner of More Than a Job, which I just launched, and also which is the home of the Cross the Line podcast. I want to inspire people, let them know that you're more than just a job, working a 9 to 5, and always just punching a clock. And so it's just there to motivate people, and you can start your own business. Because a lot of times when you work for somebody else, they value you as just an employee. But here, you're more than a job. We're entrepreneurs. We're leaders in our community. We're more than just athletes and entertainers. We can do so much more. We can be authors and doctors and lawyers, anything. So that's why basically how I got the concept of more than a job. When I went to school, I really didn't know. I majored in information management, so I was doing some computer programming, and I honestly did that just for the money. And towards my senior year, well, actually it was my senior year, is when I was like, you know what, I don't really want to program computers for the rest of my life. Let me do something else. So I ended up picking up a minor in mass media. And from there, at my job, I was always networking, and I met one of my mentors, Coach Cox. He had his own broadcasting company. So from there, he had me covering high school football, and eventually he took me with him to cover the Charlotte Hornets and Carolina Panthers. And from there, we just hit the ground running. When I had the opportunity to cover all those professional athletes that I grew up watching on TV, then that's when I felt like, okay, I want to do something in this field because it felt fulfilling to me. My student loans kicked in, and I was paying $500 a month. I had to pick up another job. I actually had a little part-time job at the radio station, but I couldn't afford to pay, it wasn't paying me enough to cover the $500, so I ended up leaving there and picking up another job. So I was still at my main job and working back and forth, and it was just a struggle, and I just fell into the cycle of getting up early in the morning at 5 o'clock, getting off, and then going back to my other job and not getting home till around 12:30 at night. So I just fell into the cycle of doing the same thing over and over. Honestly, it was just hearing the word no. No is what motivates me. A lot of people don't like to hear the word no, but for me, no was just like, you know what, thank you, because now I'm gonna show you what I can do. And I tell people all the time, no is not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear, because it forces you to go back to the drawing board and figure out what else you can do. Because if you never hear the word no, then you may think that you don't need to correct anything. You think you may think that you're perfect, and it's not always the case. It's always things that you can tweak and better yourself at. So for me, every time I heard the word no, it just pushed me to do what I want to do and show people like, hey, you didn't give me the opportunity. Now let me show you what I can do. And it's been one of the best things for me, because like I said, had I ended up getting a job, let's say at ESPN right out of college, I may have gotten comfortable and just stayed there and just never even tried to create my own opportunity. And I always had to rely on them for a paycheck. But now that I've created my own opportunity, I can show that I can stand on my own, and it's something that other people can look at and say, hey, you don't always have to rely on a job for your paycheck, because at the end of the day, whenever they're done with you, they can let you go, and that's it. So now with me creating my own opportunity, I can't fire myself. I'm my own boss, but it's a lot more work, but it's more fulfilling knowing that this company is something I built up in its mind. I've never been one of those people that I had to have the finer things in life, because it's all materialistic. And at the end of the day, we all have a checkout time, and you can't take that stuff with you anyway. So for me, I was never materialistic, so that part didn't bother me. But just starting out with my business, I just started out small. We had some cameras that my parents had. I used some audio on my laptop that was free. So you can always, if you Google things, man, you can find anything that's really cheap or free. So the audio that I used was very cheap. It was free, so that wasn't a major issue. And then you could just, maybe you have some friends, somebody that may have something that you could use. But yeah, I just always use whatever I had, just use anything that was already accessible to me. For what I wanted in life, I had to come out of my comfort zone. So basically what I've been doing, honestly, is just networking, the key for me is just networking and reaching out to people, because you never know what they'll say. They could be yes or no. So basically, I just go into other businesses, let them know what I'm doing, and ask them would they be willing to sit down and have a conversation, or do they have any advice, and can they point me in the direction of where I need to go? Because the key thing that I've learned is, and I learned this from Steve Harvey. This is one of the most profound things that sticks with me today is just asking, because the worst thing they can say is no. So I figured the key to doing it was to actually go into these companies, talk to them, see if they would be willing to share their stories, and then down the line, if they want to come back and sponsor the podcast, then that would be a great way to do it. Because I feel like it's important to build relationships with people instead of just taking their money. If you build those relationships, then you never know what can happen going forward. My name is Carlos Smith, and I am young and great.